Listen closely. This is how understanding begins.
There is a shadow that touches nearly every person on Earth. For most, it is a fleeting visitor. It arrives on a rainy day, after a tough week at work, or in the quiet moments after an argument. We call it sadness, the blues, a funk. It's a normal, healthy part of the human experience, a signal that something in our world is off balance. Then, the sun comes out, circumstances change, and as quickly as it came, the shadow recedes. But for millions of Americans, that shadow doesn't leave. It lingers, it deepens, it becomes a crushing, invisible weight. It's no longer just a feeling, it transforms into a clinical condition. This is the world of depression, the leading cause of disability on the entire planet. And because it's a mental illness, it's profoundly misunderstood. To the outside world, someone struggling with depression might look fine. They go to work, they pay their bills, they might even smile at a party. But on the inside, they are fighting a battle that is as real and as debilitating as any physical disease. This video is our journey into understanding that battle. We will explore the critical difference between feeling sad and having depression. We will look at the real physical evidence of what it does to the human brain, and we will talk about the proven, science-backed paths to recovery. So, where is the line? When does a normal human emotion cross over into a medical disorder? Psychiatric guidelines are very clear about this. Clinical depression, or major depressive disorder, isn't just a bad mood. It is a persistent state that lasts for at least 2 consecutive weeks, and it must significantly interfere with your ability to live your life, to work, to play, to love. Think of it like the weather. A rainy day is just a rainy day, but a hurricane that sits over a city for 2 weeks, flooding streets and knocking out the power, that's a natural disaster. The same is true for our emotional states. To receive a diagnosis, a person must experience at least 5 of 9 specific symptoms. The first is, of course, a persistent low mood. The second is a loss of interest or pleasure in things you would normally enjoy, a symptom psychologists call anhedonia. This is when your favorite hobby, your favorite food, or even spending time with your favorite people feels like a chore, drained of all its color. Then, there are the physical changes, significant shifts in appetite or weight, either gaining or losing, a profound disruption in sleep, either sleeping far too much or suffering from insomnia, a noticeable change in energy, a feeling of constant fatigue that no amount of rest can seem to fix. The list continues with the cognitive symptoms, a feeling of worthlessness or excessive, inappropriate guilt, replaying mistakes over and over, a diminished ability to think or concentrate, what many describe as a persistent brain fog, and a distinct change in movement, either a physical slowness or a restless, agitated energy. And finally, the most serious symptom, recurrent thoughts of death or suicide. It's critical to understand that these aren't just behaviors. They are the external signals of a profound internal storm. For centuries, depression was dismissed as a weakness of character, a moral failing. We now know that is fundamentally untrue. Thanks to modern neuroscience, we can physically see the evidence of depression inside the brain. It is not just in your head, it is in your biology. Using imaging technology like MRI scans, scientists have observed distinct, physical changes in the brains of people with chronic depression. On a large scale, this includes a measurable shrinking in key areas. The frontal lobes, which are responsible for executive functions like reasoning and decision-making, can become smaller. The hippocampus, a region critical for learning and memory, also tends to lose volume. This is why people with depression often struggle with concentration and memory. Their brain's hardware is being directly impacted. On a microscopic level, the story becomes even clearer. The brain is an electrical and chemical machine, and depression throws a wrench in the works. It's associated with the abnormal transmission and depletion of key neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that regulate our mood. You've likely heard of them: serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine. Think of these as the oil in your car's engine. When they run low, the whole system starts to grind and seize. But it doesn't stop there. Depression disrupts our most fundamental biological clocks. It can blunt our circadian rhythms, throwing our natural sleep-wake cycle into chaos. This leads to specific, measurable changes in our sleep architecture, affecting the vital REM and slow-wave stages of sleep that are crucial for mental and physical recovery. It also wreaks havoc on our endocrine system, the network of glands that produce hormones. Many people with depression show chronically high levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. It is as if their body's fight or flight system is permanently stuck in the on position. This, combined with the deregulation of thyroid hormones, creates a cascade of physical problems that go far beyond just a low mood. We still don't have the complete picture, of course. It seems to be a complex dance between our genes and our environment. But one thing is certain: depression is a real, measurable, biological condition. The good news in all of this is that because depression is a medical condition, it can be treated, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. It takes the average person suffering from a mental illness over 10 years to finally ask for help. A decade of silent struggle. But when they do, there are incredibly effective treatments waiting. The two main pillars of treatment are therapy and medication, and research consistently shows they are most effective when used together. Medications, like SSRIs, work on a biological level to help correct the neurotransmitter imbalances, essentially giving the brain the chemical support it needs to function properly again. Therapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, works on a psychological level. It helps individuals identify and reframe the negative thought patterns and behaviors that feed the depressive cycle. It's like having a physical trainer for your mind, helping you build the strength and skills to navigate challenges. In severe, treatment-resistant cases, there are other powerful options. Electroconvulsive therapy, or ECT, despite its scary portrayal in old movies, is a safe and highly effective procedure that is like a controlled reset for the brain's electrical activity. And newer technologies like transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS, offer a non-invasive way to stimulate underactive parts of the brain. If you know someone who is struggling, the most powerful thing you can do is encourage them, gently, to seek out these options. Offer to help with the first steps, which can often feel insurmountable, like looking up therapists in your area or just sitting with them while they make a phone call. It's crucial to validate their struggle. Avoid comparing it to times you've felt down. Comparing their hurricane to your rainy day can make them feel even more isolated. Instead, remind them that depression is a medical condition, just like asthma or diabetes. It is not a weakness or a personality trait. You would never tell someone to just get over a broken arm, and the same applies here. The battle against depression is fought by individuals, but it is won by communities. Every open, honest conversation about mental health helps to erode the stigma that keeps people suffering in silence. Research shows that even asking someone directly if they are having suicidal thoughts actually reduces their risk. Your willingness to talk can be a lifeline. The more we all learn, the more we talk, and the more we support those who are struggling, the better the treatments will become. The shadow of depression is vast, but it is not invincible, and it is a shadow that we can and must face together.